If you're talking about artificial intelligence lately, then odds are high the conversation is at least partly about AI agents. It doesn't really matter whether you're an AI expert or AI curious. Agentic AI is everywhere. And figuring out what it takes to make agentic AI work in a high-stakes, real-world environment is front and center in these discussions, because, for the most part, we're still figuring that out. And at this year's meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos, I got a first-hand look at the shift that's taking place from agent demos to what a successful deployment looks like. I'm Jennifer Strong, and this is Shift.
Now here on the steering column is a device called Auto Cruise. You simply set the speed you want.
Self-driving robo-taxis are already on the road in US cities.
As the disk rotates, a mirror reflects the light in the way that depends on how the signal was recorded.
This is the 100 terabyte I present to you Electro, the Moto Man. Ladies and gentlemen.
I would say that one of my greatest skills is my ability to interact with humans.
This episode, it's the latest installment of our oral history project.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
If your eyes are the windows to your soul and your glasses are the windows to your eyes, then it's pretty important to find your perfect frames. That's why at Warby Parker, we've made shopping for eyewear as easy and fun as can be. Peruse endless styles in our stores, or use our app to virtually try on frames and get personalized recommendations. To find your next favorite pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses, or to locate your nearest Warby Parker store, head over to warbyparker.com. That's warbyparker.com.
So C-suite leaders, a lot of people make the assumption that they know everything about everything. The reality is the larger the organization, the more senior the person is, the harder it becomes for them to consume everything that's around them. I am Shibani Ahuja. I am the SVP of Enterprise IT Strategy. And I'll sit in a conversation and a CIO will be saying AI, or CEO or CFO. And then I'm pausing folks to say, hang on, before you get into AI, I say AI is the smallest, biggest word. Because there is predictive AI. So you think about when you're using your phone, it finishes your sentences for you, it finishes your words for you. That's predictive AI. Or if you are doing any work, I was meeting with students yesterday with Davos Code. And I asked them, I said, how many of you use ChatGPT or AI to help you finish your homework? A couple of hands went up. And I went, that's AI as well. That's generative AI. And some of you should check your work before you publish it because there's errors in it. And then I go, the difference of what we are building here at Salesforce is agentic AI. Like agentic AI, think of it as digital labor that sits next to you. It's performing tasks and performing activities the way a human would. When you're meeting with C-suite leaders, you don't want to insult them by telling them, I'm going to give you a 101 on AI. I use my own personal onboarding example and I make a fool of myself because the reality is when I joined Salesforce a year ago, and agentic AI has only been around for as long as I probably have been at Salesforce. I joined and I had heard Salesforce talk about Agentforce. Now, I came from a bank where our frontline reps, contact center agents were called agents. I actually thought that Agentforce was a desktop for the contact center. And I knew there was something AI embedded in it because my CRM advisors, the advisors that use CRM, they have AI embedded. It was called Einstein. That's what I thought it was. So November 18th, I joined the company. On November 19th, I'm flying to San Francisco from Toronto for onboarding. I get off the plane, I get into my Uber, I'm getting to the office, and I see this billboard. And the billboard is for Piper, the sales development rep agent. And you could see that it's computer generated. And I think that was the moment where I went, oh, hang on a second. Agentforce isn't like a desktop for my contact center agents. Agentforce is like digital labor. It's like a hologram of a virtual colleague that is sitting next to me. And just for fun, what I did was as I was on my way back, I get back on the plane, back to Toronto, I get into my Uber, I'm heading home, and I'm looking at the billboards to say, like, why didn't this occur to me sooner? Why is it that in Toronto, Boston, in many other countries, in many other cities, the billboards are for injury lawyers? And that was a big aha to say, San Francisco is like a massive hub for AI. Salesforce sits right there. That I think we've got an opportunity to educate and slow down a little bit to say, when we talk about AI, do we understand the fundamental and architectural differences between predictive AI, generative AI, and then agentic AI?
The answer is actually no.
No. And that you, like, one, conceptually, two, then you start to get into like architectural design of how you want to build your systems. The number of folks that say, I'm going to build versus buy, I go, what do you think you're building? So I have a 4-year-old son. You get 4-year-old level analogies with me. The way I describe it is generative AI is like Iron Man has an arm. You can unscrew it. You could probably replace that arm with a different kind of cool technology or a weapon or whatever it may be. But to me, agentic AI is like the adamantium inside Wolverine's body. And many customers have helped make sure that I say that word right. The metal inside Wolverine's body. When you think about how you're going to architect the metal inside Wolverine's body, like we all have tech stacks. You're not going to pull that architecture out and start from scratch. You've got to understand how are you agentifying what already exists. So the World Economic Forum, they have an app. Now that app has existed, that is their application. And a lot of guests that are coming to Davos are using that application to understand what are all of the sessions that are available and who are all the attendees that are available. Now, in an app like that, and oftentimes on a website, what you'll see is a little chatbot. You engage with that chatbot. It can occasionally be a very frustrating experience because it's very limited in terms of what that chatbot can do. You ask a question, it either doesn't understand it. You ask a question, it can't answer it. And you just are in this doom loop. What we've done is now we've got Agentforce that's powering the WEF app. And the agent is more than just a chatbot in that it's actually able to perform actions. What I mean by that is in previous years, if there was a chatbot on an application like the WEF app, you'd ask a question to say, are there any sessions related to X, climate change? Maybe it could answer, maybe it couldn't. Now what our agent is able to do is I ask that question, it surfaces all of the sessions that have anything linked to climate change. Then I can ask, I'm interested in the first one, who are the speakers? It'll give information on the speakers. I could go as far as saying, I'd love to schedule a meeting with X speaker. It'll ask, what time would you like the meeting? It will actually look at both of our calendars. It'll identify slots where we're both available. We'll say, is this the right time that you'd like to meet? Say yes. It'll then say, there are 4 different options of locations of where you can meet. You can ask the agent to say, well, I'd like to meet somewhere near a coffee shop. It's starting to triangulate to the point where you hit yes, you confirm, it's booked the meeting for you. So it's more than just, can you help me find a session? It is taking that action to actually book the session in your calendar, to book meetings with the guests that are here. Now, if you think about what that actually means, is an organization like the World Economic Forum, there's 3,000 guests here. There's 70 heads of state. That's a lot of sensitive information. What Salesforce has done has created a platform that enables organizations like WEF to feel safe that their data can be trusted, that when I am asking that agent a question, that there's absolute certainty that I'm only going to be exposed to the information that is necessary for my level of access. And that's a huge amount of trust. What's interesting about this deployment is we worked with WEF. 4 of our engineers worked 6 weeks. This was built in 6 weeks, from idea to working with WEF to putting it into production. Like, that was amazingly fast.
This show is supported by Blueland. Each year, Americans throw away 25% more trash from Thanksgiving to New Year's. This year, let's turn our New Year's resolutions into actions that make a difference by reducing single-use plastics. Blueland makes that easy. Blueland believes that hardworking, clean products can be the norm, not the exception. From cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaner to dishwasher and laundry detergent tablets, Blueland's 100% microplastic-free, EPA Safer Choice certified formulas are safe to use around family, pets, and plants. You'll love not having to choose between the safe option and what actually gets your house clean. Blueland products are independently tested to perform alongside major brands, and the formulas are free from dyes, parabens, and harsh chemicals. Plus, Blueland is a certified B Corp and certified cruelty-free by Leaping Bunny. Their formulas are EPA's Safer Choice certified, and many have received the Gold Material Health Certificate from Cradle to Cradle. And right now, Blueland has a special offer for listeners. Get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/PRX. You don't want to miss this. Blueland.com/PRX for 15% off. That's blueland.com/PRX to get 15% off.
The biggest challenge I think that I'm anticipating is AI has been traditionally seen as like it's an IT thing. It's an IT thing. The shift that we're undergoing with agentic architecture and an agentic future is it's a CIO thing, it's a CEO thing, it's a CFO thing, it's a COO thing, it's a CMO thing, it's a board thing. It's every colleague, it's CHROs. It's understanding how this is going to upgrade human capacity and capability, and how organizations have to shift alongside it to ensure that we're providing our colleagues with the right upskilling as roles evolve. That's something that I think about quite a bit. There's one other concept, again, I'll share it, and then if you want to reverse engineer it. I was sitting with the CIO in Sydney, Australia, and he said, Shibani, you've been doing this day in, day out. Now, it had been, I think, 8 months at the time. And he said, what do you predict for the future of technology in 5 years? I started laughing, going, I think you're giving me way too much credit because I have no clue. Technology is moving so fast. I said, I think of it less about trying to predict the future and anticipating the future. I think of it this way. We all know IQ. We now all know EQ. I've been talking about a new Q, which is an AQ, adaptability quotient. An adaptability quotient to me comes in two ways. One is the mindset. Do we have an open and adaptable mindset to the way the world is changing? And look, we're in Davos talking about really world changes. The second adaptability quotient is on technological stacks. There's so many people that are trying to anticipate what the future is going to be from I'm going to build my tech stack to be future-proofed. I go, no, I would make sure that you've got a high adaptability quotient of the technology that you have. Is it adaptable? Is it composable? Is it deconstructible? Is it interoperable? Can it move with how the technology is moving? And so that's the AQ that I keep talking about. Like the intersection between the CIO and the CHRO. Where it was happening previously might have been, or a CIO working on trying to automate a task for a department or a function, whether that was within their own area or whether they were doing it for the COO, because operations is a great opportunity. Where I think the conversations are starting to shift now is CHROs and CIOs are working in tandem to say, how small or how big do we want to transform our organization and how we rebuild processes? You take a lead to cash process. From the point at which you generate a lead to when you have cash in hand from a customer, that involves marketing, sales, procurement, legal, finance. You could, as an organization, decide you're going to just automate the leads process. So that's just within marketing, one element of it. Or you could say, I'm gonna look at quote to cash. I'm going to automate the quote to cash element. So it still hits a few departments. Or some organizations are saying, what would our organization look like if we were to automate or evaluate how we can agentify processes all the way from lead, from the point at which someone identifies interest, all the way to where we are able to invoice that customer. That's cross-cutting departments, colleagues, resources. It's addressing a lot of the handoffs, the painful activities and pain points that exist to say, how could we recreate an entire organization, which is not a CIO alone activity? That's where HR comes in to say, how big or how small do we want this transformation to be? I just came out of a lunch where we were hosting CEOs, CFOs, and COOs. I was pleasantly surprised by how technical they were speaking. That's a huge shift. Like when we look at the other technological revolutions that have happened, cloud or internet or mobile, I didn't see CFOs talking about them with the level of depth and technicality that I hear CFOs talking about it now, which is signaling a change that I think organizations are now understanding, that this driving AI, agentic AI, is not a technology thing alone. It's not an architecture thing alone. It's the entire organization. It's every C-suite leader looking at each other and going, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this the right way. Fear shows up in a few spaces. Of course, trust. It kind of comes back to what I was saying in terms of the WEF app. The fact that an organization like the World Economic Forum is trusting us with their data and ensuring that we are not, that the appropriate amount of access has been granted to every individual that's accessing the agent. I think we have to continue to share stories like that to show we have found ways to circumvent that fear. And when we introduced Agentforce, we had said the first customer that should ever try out our own products is us. So we looked at our public site. On help.salesforce.com, we put on our agent. That agent went live. Customers started to ask questions, and we started to notice that the agent wasn't responding consistently. You ask a question, it would give an answer. You'd ask that question again, and that is the nature of agentic agents, but it was a very black and white question. It was based on a policy, it was giving a different answer. Now, we very quickly, shut it down, turned it off, but we turned it internally to say, why is this happening? We had the agent actually evaluate internally all the knowledge articles. And what we discovered was this agent helped us identify that all along we had two conflicting knowledge articles on our public site, an issue that existed all along. It was when we had to turn that agent internally that it helped us almost do like a reconciliation or an audit of what had always existed. We reconciled all of the knowledge, we cleaned up the knowledge, pointed that agent back out, and it's been successful since. Right now, the fear that I have on behalf of C-suite leaders is the fear of inactivity, of not taking that step, of not moving forward, of not taking that first use case into production to be able to see the changes that can be possible. And I think the technology has advanced so far that now some of the work that agents are doing, when you look at the accuracy of the agents, tell me one human, or any contact center or any operations where you can guarantee the accuracy of every colleague that you hire. I think that understanding it from the human lens and the technological lens to trace and track accuracy will perhaps help people get past that fear.
This episode was produced by me and Emma Cillekens and mixed by Garret Lang, with original music from him and Jacob Gorski. Thanks for listening. I'm Jennifer Strong.
From PRX.